Hi, in this video we'll look at solving trig equations in two ways. One, using the unit circle information, and two, using trig identities combined with the unit circle. In the following problem, I need to find theta, given that tangent of theta equals square root of 3 for some theta between 0 and 2 pi. Now it's common to limit theta between 0 and 2 pi because I could think of any number of revolutions around the unit circle and get infinitely many solutions. So first I look at, well, tangent of theta equals the square root of 3. So it's telling me that tangent is positive. Now that'll only occur in the first quadrant and the third quadrant of the unit circle, because tangent is sine over cosine, and this would be a positive over a positive in the first quadrant, or a negative over a negative in the third quadrant. And so I know that it's going to occur in one of those quadrants. And now I want to look at, well, if I look at the fact that tangent of theta equals sine of theta over cosine of theta, and it's supposed to be equal to the square root of 3, well, that would be the same as the square root of 3 over 2 all over 1/2. I'm using this information because I know some of the common values. So square root of 3 over 2 all over 1/2, that simplifies into the square root of 3. So now I can use that information. Well, where is sine of theta equal to the square root of 3 over 2? Well, that information precisely is right here. So the 60 degrees, pi over 3. So now I can say theta equals pi over 3 is one of my solutions. But now remember that another solution would be as if these were negative values. So if sine of theta were negative square root of 3 over 2 and cosine were negative 1/2, well, that would occur here at 210 degrees. So this angle here would be another answer. So I can say that it's also 7 pi over 6. So my two answers are pi over 3 and 7 pi over 6. Here we have a problem where I have cosine plus sine plus some value equaling 0. And this should harken back to a time where we had polynomials and we were trying to find the roots or the x-intercepts of these equations. We're going to do something very similar here. And I want to now isolate and get everything in terms of just sine of x or just cosine of x. So I first need to deal with cosine of 2x. How do I get rid of that? Well, I want to use something to turn cosine of 2x into something with just sines and cosines. And I have a formula for cosine of a plus b. And I can use that information to say, well, the cosine of 2a would be the same thing as cosine of a plus a. And now I can use my formula here to say, well, that's the same as cosine a times cosine a minus sine a times sine a. So that's the same as cosine squared a minus sine squared a. So now I have a formula for the cosine of 2a. So I can go back up here and say, well, cosine of 2x is the same as the cosine squared x minus sine squared x plus 3 sine x plus 1 equals 0. So now I have things in terms of cosine and sines. So I want to get rid of cosine so that everything's just in terms of sine. One of the equations that I know is that cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1. So that means cosine squared x is 1 minus sine squared x. Equals 0. So now if I group all these things together, I have negative 2 sine squared x plus 3 sine x plus 2 equals 0. Now I'm going to reverse all of the signs on here so that I lead with a positive coefficient. So I have 2 sine squared x minus 3 sine x minus 2 equals 0. And if instead I had something like 2u squared minus 3u minus 2 equals 0, well, you could use the quadratic equation or factoring and you would be able to solve that. And we're going to do something exactly the same with what we're working here over in sine. So I could factor this to say, well, this is the same as 2 times sine x times the quantity sine x, and this is going to be minus 2, and this is going to be plus 1 equals 0. So I can factor that into two expressions. So now I have two expressions times 0 equal, two expressions times one another equals 0. So that means either 2 sine x plus 1 equals 0, or sine of x minus 2 equals 0. Well, this would imply this one here. Well, then if I solve that, that means sine x equals 2. Well, where does sine of x equal 2? Well, never. So this one is not possible, because the maximum value that sine ever obtains is 1. So now we have sine x equals negative 1/2 if I solve for sine of x. So now I go to my unit circle and say, well, where does sine of x equal negative 1/2? So sine is the y values, so I look here, well, where is it equal to negative 1/2? Well, that would be here, and that would be here. So 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. So I know that my values, x equals 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. There's my answer.